I am Corbin, and today we're going to be learning how to play the Fall of Savarion.
Woo!
Yeah. Go, you're up.
Oh, you're up.
It's you. What am I doing?
We're now talking about...
I'm talking about... So, what's the first thing?
The first thing is that this is the game. You have to buy it first.
No, that's a fair statement.
Okay.
It's on Kickstarter right now.
Step one, buy the game.
Step
Yeah,
one, back
I mean,
the game.
Yeah, like, you gotta get it first. I mean, I guess you could, like, pretend you have it.
Pretend, I guess you could, but...
Yeah. So the first thing we're going to do, what's the first
You gotta
thing?
pick your race.
Pick your race.
Pick
Who
your
did you
race.
pick?
I picked the Minotaurs.
Yeah, you picked the Minotaurs, because in reality, they're really big.
The bee.
I picked
Taylor?
it because I'm wearing their hoodie.
I grabbed the elves.
Yep. I got the goblins!
And I got the Samgatu.
No, I feel
So-
nice.
Let's go over, real quick, what all the races can do.
Get your hoodie.
Alright, so, the orcs
Orcs.
get a +4. Ian, can I get top view?
Top view.
Can you see it?
No. Too far out.
Zoom in on the orcs. Okay, so, the orcs get a +4 to all melee power. So, when we go through the classes, we'll divide them up between your magic, your melee,
And your healers.
and your healers, but the orcs get +4 physical power. Is how that operates.
We got the halflings.
Halflings.
The halflings get to move before and after attack.
Which is something important to note, because your characters get to move and then attack, and then they're stuck. If they attack, they don't move. They're stuck.
Right.
Yes.
Except the halflings.
Halflings get to go unstuck.
I know I can't see anything that's not on that board.
Yeah.
I know. So I'm putting it on the board. And then we have the humans, who are unaffected by terrain type, which we will go over terrain types.
Humans are a great choice if you don't want to think too hard.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're really simple.
Minotaur, +2 starting health. That gives every unit on the field or on your team 20 health. So it's +2 health points. So 20 extra health.
Yep.
They're a little hardier.
When you're putting your talents in, every point increases health by 10. We have the dwarves come up next. Hello, dwarves.
That's Durzan.
That is Durzan, but you can see it says +4 base armor
We should show them what Kungan looks like.
someday.
They should know.
Because that's on that one, isn't it? They should have already seen it. So the dwarves have the +4 armor, which makes them more hardy.
Which
Here
will
is
give... It's
amazing.
4 points, correct? Would give them 8 armor.
If you don't know what anything
No,
looks like,
that's
go
4
watch
armor
the
flat.
races videos.
So the armor value is 1-to-1.
It's
Every
damage
point is
reduction.
1 point of armor. So they get 4 armor to start, and that means that every time they take damage, they reduce their damage by
2
that
to 1.
armor.
It's
Is it
2
2?
to 1.
My bad.
Yep, it's 2
It's
to
1 to 2.
Whoopsie!
So real quick, before we keep going, we have these handy dandy cheat sheets that everybody gets. That teaches you, that
That's
can
right.
show you so that you can pay attention.
Mine was up to the side. My bad. And then
Okay.
we have
And we have
the Muscapert.
Muscapert. These are going to be your +4 base power on magic. Alright.
Straightforward. And then we have
Some Gatsu.
yup.
Get a +1 to all your die rolls. So when you roll your dice, add 1 to that number for that.
We have the elves coming up next. Elves gotta go fast. They get +2 to their movement.
So every unit starts with a base of 5 movement. All the elves start with a base of 7.
Yep. And then lastly, we have the goblins,
The
which
Goblinos.
aren't affected by weather events.
Which
Or
is,
affected by events in general, sorry. Events in general.
which is really handy.
It can
Considering
be.
the fact that the weather will screw you over in this
be.
game.
Potentially.
Potentially. It can't help.
For me, the weather will screw you over allegedly, because it has
Alleged.
never happened for me.
So that's our goblins.
Yep. And that's all
Okay.
9.
So once you have chosen your race, then you will build your team.
First you build your board.
You gotta put the board together.
The board comes out first, right? That's the order.
And pick where you put your stuff. We're doing
We're
4.
double checking, because I'm fairly certain once you pick your
I'm
race,
reading the rules.
you get your board.
We got a rule book. We're all fancy smancy.
Like a legit game.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Hey, you
like-
build your race, and
Pick your race and
let's
then your
see.
board.
Yeah. Okay. So this once the game board is set up,
Yep.
choose a one board piece.
So four
so
pieces.
we technically choose the board piece before we even choose our races.
It's one piece for every player, correct?
Yes, every
Yep.
player gets
So
to pick
in this
one
setting, we
piece.
would get four
Four
pieces.
pieces.
Yes.
It says
Exactly.
choose. This doesn't look like choosing. This looks like
We're
shuffling.
choosing at random. This is just how it's fun to do. Yep, you can pick from wherever, whenever.
This is my piece.
I take the bottom. Okay, the rest of these are going away.
Bye bye.
And now we built the board.
Athlete.
3, 2, 1, flip it! So the way this will work is you have to line up the roads. So you pick your piece there, you put your piece there, there.
So
Flip it.
it'll be this way, so that the roads line up.
Yep.
That is a lot of red.
You have a whole lot of desert. And a little bit of swamp.
And then
These are the
where to
grades.
go?
Now you take your
Alright.
your city.
I lost my
It
city.
comes with your race.
Yep, and you put it in your tile that you placed.
And the crossroads.
Yep, in the crossroads. You'll see it has the bigger area of road underneath it.
And
They
it
should
fits
fit when
in there.
perfectly when
Yeah.
you get it
So
fully released.
well, we have two different prototypes that we're currently playing with. We have this one was the smaller prototype, and this one's the bigger prototype. So I didn't reprint these for the
bigger
the
size.
full size prototype. So
They'll be
in-
bigger.
when we produce it finally, these will be they'll
They'll
fit on
match.
just right.
hmm
So
And you don't want to glue them onto your table pieces. There's nothing you want to do because these are destructible. They will
Yes.
go away.
absolutely. So I'm gonna move the board a little bit this way because.
I got the long arms.
I got
Okay,
little arms.
So before we get into the pieces, I want to cover the terrain.
Excellent.
Ian, can you zoom in on the terrain pieces? All
Oh
right.
my
So
God,
our
this is
8 terrain types: the mountains, and when you look at the board, each hex has a terrain type. Okay, so we have mountains. Your range and movement are reduced by 3. Then we have the forest, which only reduces your range. Then we have your swamp, which causes slowing. And then there's a slow chart. So if your movement is a 5 or a 6, you lose 3 speed. If it's a 7 or an 8, you lose 4 speed. And if it's a 9 or higher, you lose 2 speed. If it's a 5 or 6, 3 speed, a 7 or 8, 4 speed if you have a 9 or higher. So if my movement is 5 and I get slowed, it is now 3. Okay? Alright, and then the plains, which are this one,
They have no effect.
they have no effect. Yep. Desert reduces your power,
Attack and healing.
attack and healing. So all power is reduced by 5. Your water, you die.
Yep. You cannot travel. You must go around, or potentially through. We have one spot on the game where there's
It's
a
an event.
yeah.
where
Well,
you
there's
Yeah, and there's a mechanic I love abusing where you get the wind mage and throw people in the water.
yes,
Exactly.
because into the water, dead.
Alright, then we have our roads, these guys.
Yep.
And the roads increase your speed by 1 less than the slow decreases your speed. You also get a -1 to all your die rolls while you're on the road because you move faster. And then your cities, you roll you get a +2 to your defending. So when you are defending, you get a +2.
And even without a guardian, if you are attacking into the city, the defender
Let's see
chooses
that.
who's getting hit. You don't get to pick unless you're the spearman.
This way.
The
Okay.
Spearman's real
Alright.
need.
So now we have all the terrains.
Spearman.
We have all picked our races. Now we are
building-
going to build our teams. And so we have
Okay, we're gonna scroll down to where Dad's sheet is.
Yep.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll just move down to.
We don't have an actual description.
You're
We
white.
on this
Yeah.
side.
Okay.
So all right. So let's go over the different
Do you have one that's been written on?
class types. No. We'll just go over the different class types real quick.
Okay.
All right. Ian, go back up. What? Can you see mine pretty well?
I can see your white piece.
Okay. Can you? If I pull up the fire mage, could you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is your fire mage. This is your heavy magic output. They do 30 damage at a range of 15. And so when we say range, we mean hexes away from.
Yep.
Okay? So that's all they do is 30 damage, 15 range. Okay?
I'm gonna have to butcher this video so much.
Yep. Alright, next is going to be our air mage. They do 10 damage, and you can push 5 at a range of 15. So this is the one that we're talking about that, you
It
know,
has
push
to
them
go
into
5.
water. Do what?
It has to go 5.
Yeah,
You
push it
can't
not
less
up to
than
5. It
Yeah.
pushes 5. So yeah, that is pretty straightforward. But at a range of 15, I can push somebody 5. Does 10 damage.
Something I'm curious about that I've never actually known. Can the air mage push people out of cities?
No,
That's not a thing.
Okay.
it is not a thing. The air mage actually can't attack inside of a city at all.
The only ones who can do that are the spearman and the Swiss striker.
Earth mage.
And, well, the earth mage
And the
can
earth
hit
mage
it,
can hit the city.
and I believe the archer can't. No, the archer needs line of sight,
Archer needs
which means
to
the archer can attack the city, but then the defender chooses who gets
chooses who gets hit.
hit. Yep.
Right. So, all right. So next up we have the water mage. This one does 20 damage at a range of 15, and then slows the opponent. Now the slow chart is the same here as it is on the board. So when you're in the swamp, you're slowed. If you get hit by the water mage, you're slowed for 2 rounds.
Do they stack?
And yes, they do stack. Okay. Next is going to be the hex
And then
mage.
they're slowing current movement or total movement?
Total movement. Okay, so when you're slowed, it's based off of your max movement, no matter how many times it's been stacked on you. Okay? With a minimum of 1. You can never go below 1.
Yep.
And there are only 3 different types of slow that you can have in the game. So the water mage does a slow.
One of the events and the tiles.
Yeah, one of the tiles and one of the events. Okay, so next we're going to go with the hex mage. Does 20 damage at a range of 15, or a range of 10, and then weakens the opponent. Which means that that unit that got hit by it does 15 less damage on their next 2 attacks.
If it hits the healer, they do 15 less healing.
Heals.
Now
Exactly.
that one does not stack. You can only be affected by a hex mage debuff once. Now if they hit you again, it refreshes the duration, but it's not going to make you negative 30, negative 45.
Exactly.
Also, if they knock you negative, it does not mean you start healing people.
Exactly. Thank you for that clarification. Absolutely. All right, next up we have our Earth Mage. Does 15 damage at a range of 10, but the range of 10 is going to be the epicenter of the attack. So,
Do we have the rings? No, we don't.
if my attack is, let's say here, okay, everyone within 4 gets hit. So this circle of people, or units, anything inside of this will get hit by that, including your own units.
One of our stretch goals
Okay.
is to have AoE rings that we can have manufactured. Is that stretch goal or is that the actual core? No, that's only part of the
No,
core.
we're gonna
Yeah, we're gonna
have
include
those
that.
as part of the core.
There's going to be a ring that you can use to determine your radius.
Yeah.
So you have 2 different ones, one for the bishop and one for the earth mage.
All right.
Well, no, the bishop and our mage are the same. The other one is
What's the other one?
the
Oh, it's the brawler.
the brawler.
The
Yeah.
brawler has
So-
his AoE.
Okay,
Oh yeah, because he spins.
He
'cause
spins
he
to
spins.
win.
So that's your earth mage. Next,
He's a gambler.
we're looking at
Let's
the
go
bishop.
get
So the bishop is the healer version of the earth mage. So everything about the bishop is exactly the same as the earth mage, except they do healing instead of damage. So up to 10, so range of 10 they can hit as the epicenter, and then everybody within 4 of that gets healed.
Heals in our game are not guaranteed. You still have to roll during this time frame to get your heal off. And if
Yes.
you fail your attack roll,
Well, you have to, if you roll above a 9, it counts.
yeah,
It
that's what it is.
is successful.
You fail that roll.
Does the bishop choose if they heal an opponent?
No, so in the board game, everybody in the epicenter of the earth mage and bishop are affected by it.
Friendly units and enemy units.
Exactly. So,
It's indiscriminate. So yeah, if you want to heal somebody, you gotta roll that. That's a success.
that's a good roll. All right, so next up is the priest with the broken staff. The priest is your fire mage, but healer.
healing.
So 30 health, range of 15. Straightforward, single target, lots of heals. Okay? And so the air mage is the only one that guarantees. So it's 5. It pushes 5 always. It doesn't push 3 or 4 or 5. It pushes 5 every time. When we talk about a range, so the priest has a range of 15. They can hit anyone they want within 15.
Yep.
Okay. So anytime it's the range, it's anyone within that amount, and then. So the air mage is the only one that's exclusively like when it pushes 5.
And now we get to the ranger.
Now we get to the ranger.
Oh, Ranger.
Our ranger's unique.
Yes. A ranger does 15 damage. If they are successful, they get to roll again for a second attack. That attack has to hit a 9 or higher. So the first one you're rolling against the defender, the second one you're rolling against a 9. Okay?
And this is on the D20 or 12?
The D20. So when you're attacking, it's a D20. But we'll get into that in a minute.
He does have line of sight. Line of sight's important to notice. Or to note. We'll get into that.
We'll get into the line of sight in a minute. So, and then this one has a range of 12. Okay? And then we have the Spearman.
It's one of my favorites.
Spearman
It's my favorite.
does
I get
25
serious.
damage at a range of 10 and does not need line of sight.
Nope.
And again, we'll cover the specifics of line of sight in a minute,
That also
but
means
he's
when
pretty straightforward.
he can attack anything he wants to in the city.
Yes,
Can't stop that. And the guardian can't take the hit.
exactly. So, alright, so the Swift Striker is next. The 2 swords. The Swift Striker does 25 damage. However, the Swift Striker can attack twice. Same target twice. Different targets as long as they are standing adjacent. As long as both targets are standing adjacent to when the Swift Striker attacks, they can attack both.
Good.
Or the Swift Striker can go inside of a city
Yep.
at the expense of one of their attacks and attack
There we go.
inside of the city. Ian, can you show me the board? Go back to the board to see the pieces.
Put that guy in play, and we'll just do 2 randos.
Alright, so my Swift Striker, can you see it? Okay, my Swift Striker is there, and he's standing between, or adjacent to, 2 other units. And he can attack both of them.
Okay,
Either one or both.
if they're a halfling, can I stab someone, move, and then stab someone?
They can't move, attack, move. It's they can attack and then move, or move
Right.
and attack. So
So-
the attack action is one fluid function. It doesn't.
Okay.
Sorry, it's one static function. It doesn't
Right.
move.
And then is flanking a thing in this game?
No, no flanking.
Okay, so that's how that works.
Yeah.
Go ahead and so that's the Swift Striker. Then you have the Brawler. Good. Okay, so we have the Brawler. Does 30 damage to everyone in 2 hexes. So
Just whoosh.
he does a whirlwind attack.
He
Okay.
spins.
Pretty straightforward. And then we have the
It's a little goofier.
So the Guardian rolls a d20 in defense, has a damage of 15 to someone adjacent, and then if they're adjacent to a friendly, they can assume the attack. If I'm wanting to attack, let's say your Fire Mage, but I have a Guardian standing next to my Fire Mage, I can have the Guardian take the hit. Okay?
If it's an AoE, it doesn't work that way.
And roll
Right.
for defense.
Yep. So the guardian rolls the d20. The guardian acts as if he became the target of the attack.
Right. So he still gets to roll his d20.
Yep.
Okay? And last but certainly not least, the Crusher.
Crush.
He does
Crush.
he does 40 damage in a range of 2. So he basically has 1 space of reach.
Yep. So
Um,
to explain that, here we can just again we have the opportunity to set that up. So if you want to put the crusher on, even though it's not a crusher, that's a Swift Striker, or I can put the crusher as a goblin. The goblin gets to hit
Okay.
this time.
Goblin Crusher.
Little guy.
Yeah.
I move him into position,
Now
and
he's
I can hit the number 1 Swift Striker, but he can't hit back. Suck it.
Yeah, because you were number 1.
However, it also means that he's not in melee lock. That's something we can talk about in an event.
well, yeah,
Because
we'll cover
we'll
that.
get that, but
We'll
that
cover actions. Okay, so
is important as well.
yes.
Yeah.
So those are your units you can choose from. You choose from 13 units. Okay. You only have 10 units on the board. Okay?
You can only have 2 of each class.
Exactly. So if
Yeah.
I want 2 archers, I can have 2, but I cannot have a 3rd archer.
What happened that made you do?
Someone did 5 dark mages.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. They were just like, and now you're hexed, and now you're hexed. I missed that one, I missed that one, I missed that one, I missed that one.
Yes.
It was
You
insane.
couldn't do anything.
It was wild.
It was denied. It was that. He had 5 hex mages, and then I think 3 or 4, like 3 guardians.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And a healer?
2 healers. Yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy. So,
That got denied.
so yeah. So that's that. So, in your character sheet, can you see my character sheet? So we're using this older character sheet. This was an original design of the character sheet. And I'm using this because, well, for 2 reasons. One, it's easy to see on the white background. And 2, when we had the prototype done, we did not have this fleshed out all the way. So we do not have the prototype version of this yet. But
So this is subject to change. When the Kickstarter finishes and gets its funding, this will not be how you track your characters.
This
Exactly.
board was
It'll
made
be
by the creator of the game.
Yes, that's pretty cool.
I watched him print it and then laminate it.
so we're going to go character 1. All right.
Here's my first one.
And so here's my number 1. Okay. And so character number 1, I'm going to go with an Earth Mage. So I write E-M. And then I'm going to take my Earth Mage and I'm going to put it on here. Okay. Ta-da. Now I have my Earth Mage. I'm going to put him on the board. Now, his class power, right, is going to be 15. His range is 10. 10, and then I'm going to go 4 because it's an AoE. And then we have his starting health, speed, armor, and effects. Okay. Now, I can put 10 points in, and I'm going to track the points as I put them in. So you guys can watch me do this, and then everybody's going to build their team understanding the rules. Okay, so when you look at it, your points are as follows. I can put 1 point into armor, speed, health, power. I can put 2, 3, 4, 5 points. If I put 4 points into armor, they get a +8 armor. Now the armor is a direct 1-to-1 damage reduction. Okay? Or 2-to-1 damage reduction on the points.
So the way it works is whatever your armor total is, you'd subtract that directly from the damage you would take. It's that simple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your speed is a 1-to-1 movement. Your health is a 10-to-1 health bonus. And then your power is a 2-to-1. Okay? So, we're going to build the 1 Earth Mage real quick, and I'm going to give him a little bit of points and everything. Then we're going to go over the leader, and then we'll all build ours and come back.
Yep.
Okay? So, I'm going to give my Earth Mage, I'm just going to leave this right here. Ian, can you see them both?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm going to give my Earth Mage 2 points in power. So, I'm going to track, I have spent 2 of my 10 points. So, he'll be 15 power plus 2 points in power is 4. So, I'm going to have 19 effective power. So, when my Earth Mage hits, he hits for 19. Okay. My starting health, everybody except the Minotaur, everybody starts with 50 health. So I'm gonna put 4 points into health, which gives me a +40. So now my starting health is 90.
What a healthy Earth Mage.
Okay. And then my speed,
He eat his apples.
except for the elves that Taylor is playing, everybody starts with 5 speed. The elves start with 7. So I'm gonna put 3, 4. Okay. I'm going to put 3 points in speed, right? So points, speed is 3. My speed was 5. Now it's 8.
8 hexes every time.
So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 1
And
point
that gives me
please.
1 point that I'm going to put into my armor. So you can write 0 if you put no points in your armor. But I'm going to put 1 point in armor. So now my armor is 2. So if the Fire Mage hits me for 30, I actually take 28 damage. Okay? So that's how that works. Now your
Unless you
current
are-
health, that's going to be the one that's ever changing. If I take damage, right? So I have 90 starting health. I take 28 damage. I'm going to have somebody math for me.
62.
Thank you.
62 is my current health.
I just tapped
You can't ever go past your starting health unless you're not a Minotaur and kill the Minotaurs.
Yep.
All right.
And that changes
So that's
your-
how that works. Now, the difference now is the leader. Okay. I'm going to simplify the leader. So we're going to go with the Crusher because he's straightforward. I'm going to take a Crusher.
No crush.
I'm going to put him in my little one. Okay.
He goes in the star base.
He goes in the star base. Put him on here. My base class is going to be Crush.
No crush.
Okay. Effective power. I'm going to put all 5 of my points in power, which gives him a plus 10. So now he does 50. Okay. He has a range of 2. My starting health, I'm going to put all 5 points in my starting health as well, which gives me 50. So now my starting health is 100. Okay. And then my speed and armor, let's make him a little bit faster, a little less armory. So I'm going to put 3 points, right? So now we're at 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because the leader gets 15 instead of 10. It's the only unit that gets 15 points instead of 10 points. So I'm going to put 5 of them in, or 3 of them in speed, which gives me a plus 3 to speed. So now I'm at 8 again. And I'm going to put 2 of them, and then 2 of them in armor, which gives me a plus 4 to my armor. So I have 4. Okay, now, the last thing you need to know about the leader is you get a leader talent. You have enhancement, which gives you a plus 1 to your die roll. As long as the leader is alive, every time you roll the die, you get a plus 1. Now, as a general rule, because I'm some Gatu, I like to choose that one because now I get a plus 2 to all my die rolls as long as my leader's alive. Okay, and then we have Adrenaline Rush. I know it says Time Warp on here, but we play tested the name and Adrenaline Rush tested better, so it will say Adrenaline Rush. During one unit's turn, so I get 5 units that I activate during the round. One of them on my turn can move a second time. Okay? With a 2-turn cooldown. And anyone on the map can use it.
No range.
Okay? No range. That one, so that one's Time Warp. That one actually synergizes really, really well with the halflings. I march my guy in.
He does his
I
work.
attack. I march my guy maximum distance in. He attacks. And then I adrenaline rush him. Attack again. And then move him out because he can move after attacking. So he'll effectively get to move maximum distance, attack twice, maximum distance back out. So that one works really well with that.
Then you have 2 rounds before you can do it again.
Exactly. And then finally, Reverberate. This one deals half damage back to the attacker. Anyone on the map can activate this. Okay? So...
as long as your leader's alive.
As long as the leader is alive. Thank you. If I use my Fire Mage to attack one of Kyle's characters and Kyle hits Reverberate, my character will take half the damage back. Now, there's 2 things that we have to remember and consider, and this is, I think, gets a little bit lost, but this is important. I'm reverberating what the damage ought to have been.
Before reductions.
Okay? Before reductions. So if my Fire Mage is bumped up to 40 damage, right, I will take 20 damage back.
Unless you crit.
Full stop. Unless I crit. But it doesn't matter. So if his guy has 10 armor, he will only take 30 total damage, but he's still going to return 20 damage to me. And the return damage does not suffer damage reduction from the armor. So if I have 10 armor and I hit him, he has 10 armor, it reduces it, he takes 30 damage, he hits Reverberate, I will still take 20. Okay? Now where this is wildly detrimental is if I attack with an Earth Mage and I hit 6 people on the board, I get the reverberation damage from all 6. So I actually will take 3x damage output. So I've seen guys end Earth Mages that way.
Reverberate became a nuclear deterrent.
Absolutely a nuclear deterrent. Now, because I'm some Gatsu, and this is how I roll, I'm going to get a +1 to my die roll.
What?
What?
Of course you did.
Can you reverberate heals?
No.
Okay. I was just thinking if you heal your person and then it shoots back and heals your healer.
Okay. So,
At
let's we're going
Because
to
remember, it only
take a break.
removes
Everybody's going to build their characters, put them on the board, and we'll come back. All right, we are back.
We're here.
Okay, so things you need to know before we start actually fighting. Taylor, you put these pieces out while I'm talking. Put them on your
As best you can.
as best you can.
It's best to say.
All right. If you are attacking, you roll a d20.
If you are defending and you are not a guardian, you roll a d12.
Exactly. You need line of sight,
Lost.
which means that you can see the character you're attacking without it being blocked by someone else.
In this case, if I wanted to attack that city, my guardian is in the way.
Exactly. Now, if
They make
a city
great
is
windows.
if a city is attacked, the person who's being attacked gets to choose which unit is being attacked. Okay, so I can attack a city with a fire mage. I just don't get to choose which unit I'm attacking. Okay, if I use a spearman, the spearman does not require line of sight, so the guardian can't jump in the way, and I can choose who I'm attacking within the city. All right. Post your questions if you have any.
We also
Okay.
talk about melee lock before we get started.
We'll get there.
Well,
Yeah.
these are things you need to know before we get started.
I know.
right? Okay, my bad. My bad.
Yeah, I'm just following the rules
Oh!
so that we do things in order.
In order.
Okay, so I roll, and I roll against someone. Say I
You
roll a
decide who
10.
goes first.
We'll get there. I'm following the rules. Okay,
Okay.
attacking and defending. Okay, if the defender meets or beats the attacking roll, the defender wins. So if there's a tie, the defender always wins. Okay, now I have the availability to roll higher than he even can.
See?
So there's always an advantage to attacking. Okay? If the attacker rolls a 20, it doubles the damage output.
Critical!
Critical strike. Now this counts if, for the sake of argument, you went with a Samgatsu with a +1, so now I have a +2. If I roll an 18, it's considered a critical.
Doesn't
Okay.
have to be a natural 20.
It does not have to be a natural 20. Now, if you go above 20, it does not count as above 20. So a defender could still roll a 20 even if they don't have the +2, and it will still balance out, and the defender will win. Okay? Now, when initiating attack, only one pending action can be happening at a time. We'll cover why that's important when we get into the RTCSS, but remember, only one pending action at a time. Okay? Calculating damage done. If I do damage, it's going to go with my unit's effective power plus a critical strike bonus, plus if there's a bonus in the events or the terrain, or a negative in the terrain, right? And then you calculate status effects and armor, right? So all the pluses and then all of the negatives, okay? That's how we're going to calculate damage done, okay? If I am going to heal, I roll a 20-sided die. A 9 or higher is successful. Again, if I roll a 20, natural or not, it is a critical and it doubles the value output.
What happens if you roll higher than a 20?
Nothing happens if you roll higher than a 20. Okay?
Yep, it's already gone over.
If you meet or beat 20, it counts as 20. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now, melee lock. If I am adjacent to, so that's a brawler, and I'm going to put my Earth Mage right here. If I am adjacent to a melee-based character, okay? And remember when we were going through, you have all your mages, your priest and your bishop, your ranger and spearman are all ranged characters. Your swift striker, brawler, guardian, and crusher are all considered melee characters, okay? Now, in the reference tome, they're colored appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your mages, your healers, your ranged martial, and then your melee. Okay? If I am adjacent to a melee character.
I guess it's ranged physical. Yeah.
Physical, yeah. If I am adjacent, I am considered melee locked. Which means that if I want to take my turn with the Earth Mage, I can do one of two things. I can either attack him where I am and suffer 50% damage reduction. So now instead of my Earth Mage does 25, so now he does half of that rounded down. Because in Savarion we always round down, which means it's 12 and a half, round down, so he does 12 damage. If I stay there. I can choose to attempt to move. If I do so, I have to roll a d20.
And a 9
If
higher.
Yep, a 9 or higher. So if I rolled a d20, I got a 1. Well, that sucks.
You're
So
not
I
there.
effectively wasted that guy's turn. And I get to move on. I now, that one of my 5 units, that turn is wasted. Now let's say I roll a 13. I can now
Move away.
continue his turn, as normal, and move him away. Okay?
Now, if you fail to break melee lock, that's a movement. You can still make an attack action. It's just going to be at half power. No?
No.
Okay.
If you fail,
We're double checking here. Because I do believe the answer is no. If you fail a melee lock, you cannot still make your attack regardless, even with suffering the half penalty. That's the trade-off.
yeah, so melee lock, you have to roll the d20. These are all our different units, all of that. Okay. Yeah, break contact. However, if the contact is unsuccessfully broken, the unit ends its turn.
Yep, so if you
Okay.
fail to break contact, just like you said, your turn is completely over. So that's the trade-off. Either I can take the half power, or I can attempt to run away. And if I fail, dang it, wasted activation.
All right. So, start the game. We're going to break into groups. Okay? Now, as far as the groups are concerned, we like to do in every other situation when we play the game, but build your groups however you want. Sometimes we'll roll dice to see like who's closest in dice and all that kind of stuff to break up the groups.
Let's do that.
For
12s.
Okay,
Roll the
roll a
12s.
d12. Closest numbers are in a group.
I got 11,
6.
10.
3.
Okay,
Okay.
so Corbin and I are in a group.
and Taylor and I are in a group.
So I would be
Right.
going second because I got the lower number.
Yes.
So you
And-
would be
Okay.
first and I would be second.
So
Yes.
yes, and we'll get to that in a minute, but yes. Nope, everybody's flag is up right now.
Because we're not starting the game yet.
I
Flags
guess they're
are
not in the game.
That's why I'm putting them down.
up.
So we decide the groups.
Damn.
So we have Group Davis, Group Leaper.
It works.
That worked. Okay, and then we determine who inside of the group goes first. Corbin liked the idea of, because I rolled a 6 and he rolled a 3, I am the higher of our group, so I go first in our group.
And the same
And
thing. She got a
same thing
10,
with
I
this.
got an
She-
11.
Okay,
How
so
you get the
Kyle
order
goes
of
first.
it isn't important. It's just the fact that you have an order.
right.
Don't pick.
Corbin's right though. It doesn't matter how you organize the order. I'm just giving you the example of how we do it when we play. Do it however you want. Okay?
Where'd the X go? I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Yeah. We're talking a lot.
Yes.
But X.
Okay, so
He went
on your
preamble.
turn, you get to activate 5 of your units. All right? You can do, each unit can do a command option
Say move action.
as follows.
Yep. Okay.
We have charge. The unit moves the distance less than or equal to the available movement speed. So your speed. Oh, that's why I had 5s there. Because they all get 5.
Whee.
Everybody has a speed of 5.
5, 5, 5. Here's the fun.
Okay. So I have a speed of 5, so I can move up to 5. Okay, so let's say,
Mage.
and I'm gonna go with my guardian. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
So let me put him closer.
There you
He's
go.
over here being a menace to everybody. He's like,
Yes.
I'm gonna hit you and you and you.
Gonna cause all kinds of problems.
Sacre blue.
I can
Hang on, here.
double time, which allows me to move twice as far and forego
The attack action.
my attack action. Okay, so I could go 6, 7, 8, and melee lock him, or just stay at 5. I can attack, make a ranged or melee attack against an opponent. This action ends your turn. If you attack, it ends your turn. Okay,
Unless you're a halfling.
so that's why we have it that way. I knew there was a reason. Charge, I get to move my distance and then attack.
Yes.
Okay, if I just attack, that's separate in the book. Ian, do we have view of the book? Okay, so if you see in here, it has. He said yes.
No. Okay.
Charge, double time, attack, and break contact.
Can't see that.
You can't see it.
There's a no. Just pull the book out.
Can't see it.
Just pull the book
Too
out.
far away.
We'll just take pictures.
Yeah.
All right. So the 4 command options are charge, double time, attack, and break contact.
Yep.
Charge is I move my movement speed, and then I attack.
Double time is I move double my movement speed at the cost of my attack.
Yes.
When my turn's over. And then attack, and without movement, if I'm ranged, I can just stand here. Like if I get my turn, I'm just going to attack once. I can be like, oh, hey, city, what's going on? Boom! And then my turn is over.
Reverberate.
But then his turn is over. Exactly.
Or if you manage to get your guardian in my face with a double time, I have the option now. Do I break contact? No! Turn is over! Wasted Earth Mage!
So break contact is the 4th. You roll the 20-sided. If a 9 or higher is rolled, you successfully break contact. If you break contact, you get another command action. Okay, so you can charge, double time, or attack. If you have broken. If you have unsuccessfully, then that is the end of your turn. Those are your command options. Okay.
Now, in my case, let's say I failed, right? And my power is Adrenaline Rush. I'm like, oh, crap bananas. I can't leave him there. He failed his first one. I'm going to activate my power to make him go a second time. Can he break contact? Yeah! And he's going to charge. And hit that guy! Take that, elves! It's not your fault, but he started it. Anyway. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
And now, I have 2 more turns, 2 more rounds before I can do Time Warp, Adrenaline Rush again.
Have you
Exactly.
explained how the rounds work? Yeah.
Not yet, because that's the RTCSS. So that'll be the
What does
the
RTCSS mean?
Real-time combat strategy system!
Okay. At the start of the game, before anybody takes their first round,
You guys practice that.
No.
You're just that cool.
Yeah.
at the start of the round, we are going to be in a
Clear day.
clear
Summer.
day.
Yep.
Okay. The clear day card. Okay. So we have our cards. Ian, can you see these? Can you zoom in on these so that we can see them? Okay. So a clear summer day. You have clear skies, which is okay. Let me backtrack a little bit. We have 3 different types of events. You have your day-night cycle, you have your seasons,
And your weather.
and your weather. Okay. So
Well, there will be a calamity event as well, which is different than
yes.
yeah.
That's when
And
the world dies.
And one calamity.
There's
But
one
it is still an
calamity
event, so
It's
it
still
goes
an
into the
event, yeah.
event pile. So let's say we have our day-night cycle, our season, and our event. Okay? So, clear skies is an event, and it does nothing to the board. Your summer,
resets the weather. Effectively, is nothing is happening.
so there's no weather complication, and day is nothing is going on. Okay? So, that's the way the board looks when you
bland.
start. You don't put those out, but that's what's happening. So there's no weather effects.
on the
There's
board,
no card effects on the board.
which makes me
Okay.
worthless.
Exactly. All right, so our first event, and you shuffle this deck so that it's all random, but the first card, we have our knight,
Ooh, now it's
Which-
nighttime.
reduces movement and range by 1.
You suckers.
Aww.
I don't have to worry about that.
Goblins have flashlights.
Goblins have night vision.
I mean, they would have flashlights.
They're the
'Kay.
crafters.
All right.
Well,
So next,
Dwarves would have flashlights.
We're
Dwarves
gonna
and
go
wizards
with-
have flashlights.
our seasons.
Goblins would make.
Yep. We have the seasons.
So our seasons are as follows.
We had summer.
We have summer, no season effect. Then we have autumn, because our world is backwards.
Which sucks for me,
Because everybody gains a +1 in defense.
except for me.
So the goblins are kind of a double-edged sword.
Always a double-edged sword.
Yes, but there's only 2 weather events that benefit everyone
Luminescence and autumn.
in autumn.
Yep.
There's 3 events that have no effect and 2 that have a positive effect. All the rest of them
Or
are
negative.
negative.
Oh boy.
Okay, so then we have winter. Slows everyone.
Except
The goblins. And then we have spring. +1 to all movements.
So there's
Just kidding.
there's more. Because I don't get that.
Heatwave, earthquake.
I get super speed.
Okay, now those are the seasons. We have 4 of them.
You sure?
All right. So with the weather, we have clear skies, and then we have fog.
Super healthy.
Fog
Fog.
reduces ranged attacks by 3 hexes.
Sucks for you guys.
Sucks for everybody else. Then we have luminescence, which is the opposite
Aw.
of fog, +3 to all ranged attacks in range.
Time for turtle time.
Turtle time. Then we have the earthquake, which is our calamity.
It affects everybody. Goblins are not immune to calamities.
It's the only one. So everyone loses 10 health. This goes through armor. So you do not reduce armor. It doesn't matter if you're in the desert. Everyone takes 10 health. Unless you're in a city.
Take
Then
20.
you take 20.
Oh.
Points. Now here's what's unique about the earthquake. After 2 earthquakes have been pulled, all cities are destroyed.
Yes, thank you. Totally forgot.
So yeah.
You cannot turtle the entire game.
Nope. That has been fixed very early on.
Someone tried to in the story.
They successfully dwarven supremacy.
Yep. And he
Nice.
won that round.
And he won every game he turtled.
Yep. Until we fixed that rule.
So then when we fixed that rule, he then ran for the center fortress, which is also what we got rid of the
Yes,
center fortress because
exactly.
that had to go.
All right. Then we have
It
the
was a
heat
thing,
wave.
but
Oh,
it no longer is.
once the earthquake resolves, it resolves back to
Cleared it.
clear skies.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright.
No,
So
it's
the earthquake-
perpetual. Every round you draw a card and
Right.
it doesn't change it. It's
Heat wave. Heat wave makes all water features plains. So the swamps and the lakes
Turn into
become
plains.
plains.
so the drowns and the slows become normal.
Yes.
Exactly. So you could go through a lake area.
And really, really hope
Just
no one changes
hope
the weather.
the weather
around here.
doesn't
And
change.
hope the weather doesn't change.
Oh no, my whole army is in this lake.
And then you have downpour. Reduces all power by 10. This one and the last one that I'm going to show is where the goblins really shine. So downpour reduces power by 10. Most people are fairly worthless during a downpour, except the goblins.
Yep.
And then you have the blizzard, which reduces all movement to 1 and all range reduced by half. So if I have a range of 10, I now have a range of 5.
So if
Now,
there's
this,
a bad pull and it's just goblins running around during a blizzard,
we have had that happen.
I have never been able to experience that.
But when
Other
it does,
people
it
have
is
happened.
so frustrating when it happens and you're not a goblin.
they're just running around.
Yep. They have full range and full movement. Everybody else is like 1. Except for the elves. The elves still are only reduced to 3 because they get the +2 movement. But all range is reduced by half. That one's rough. So, yeah. So those are the weather events. And
light
at the...
blizzards.
Do what?
Is there light blizzards?
Is there a light blizzard?
It's called a winter.
Winter. Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So
Wow.
every round of the game, and a round is over when everyone has taken a turn.
All the flags go down.
All the flags go.
That's up, actually, yeah.
All the flags go. Or all the flags are down. Is when the round is over and you pull over a new.
No,
Event.
when all the flags are up.
That is, the
Yeah.
up symbolizes the end of your turn.
Yes.
So you're watching for your group to put their flag up so that you can start your turn. And then
Yes.
once all the flags are up, the
New
round
event.
is over, you pull the new event, and you set for the
Everybody's
next.
flags
Flip your
go
flag
down.
down.
Okay, so we go new event, flags down.
And
Okay,
we start moving.
and then we start moving. This is now where we get into the RTC SS.
Yeah.
A really cool, really neat thing.
The really cool, really neat thing.
It is the real-time combat strategy system.
We love the real-time combat strategy system.
All right, now
RCRT. We're
RTC
cool,
SS.
really
We
neat
are.
thing.
We are in our groups.
They have their group, we have our group.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm gonna go first in my group. Kyle's gonna go first in his group. So
flags down.
flags down. Everybody's flags down.
All right.
Now, Kyle and I are going to take our turns simultaneously.
Mhm.
I can
Activate
go over
unit.
and attack Taylor. Okay? So, I'm going to Earth Mage. I only have 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now,
You don't want to stand on the road and go
1,
6?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to stay on the road because I get a reduction
Of power.
in power. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, I go there. I can hit hers, and I'm going to roll once for the group. Okay? And then she has to roll for each individual character.
Oh.
Well, and once
Boy.
he starts that, Kyle has to pause his turn.
No.
Kyle keeps going.
I
Kyle
keep going.
can't attack me
Yes, he
while
can.
you're currently attacking. Nope.
Yes, he
I
can.
can totally attack you. We are two separate entities.
Okay.
She's
We'll
being
get
attacked
we'll
and
get
I'm
to
being attacked.
the you can't do. Okay, so I'm gonna attack. She's
And I'm
gonna roll
attacking
for all the
you.
defense.
I'm attacking you with my Earth Mage.
Okay, so you roll all your defenses,
Here we
take
go.
all your damage. Okay.
Oh, I got a 16. You can only defend that with your Guardians. So roll your d20. That's how this would work.
That's an 8.
Do you have another Guardian in that group?
Nope.
Okay, then all of you guys will take 25 damage.
Which exactly happened to Taylor.
Yep.
Same
And
exactly.
you're gonna take all that damage back. With
You're reverberating! Oh, you used Reverberate!
Yeah.
My Earth Mage! Oh no!
He gets
Glitter.
This
obliterated.
Earth Mage died. Dang it! Because I was gonna Fire Mage him.
75, 100,
So now, I move number 2 out because he's busy over there, and I'm gonna attack his city.
So for the record, yes, I just hit all his people, and then he hit me with Reverberate. My Earth Mage just took 250 damage. There is no recovery from that. That man exploded. And I
So
just
I'm gonna
lost
attack
100.
his city. He gets to choose.
Oh yeah, you can hit my Guardian.
Yes, I am. I rolled a 7. You rolled a 17.
Defended.
All right.
Now I get
so
to
we keep
activate my
going.
next unit.
And I still can. So I'm going to march my dude to protect him.
Punishment. We Earth Mage again.
Wrong
Yeah!
with you?
I got a 13.
That's a 20.
So your Guardian is the only one who will not take the 25 damage that I just
I'm
initiated.
attacking his Earth Mage.
Oh, bananas!
Why are you attacking me?
I have to defend.
14.
The 12. I got an 11. How much
Oh,
damage?
Okay. So he does 25 damage. And then if I roll a 9, which I rolled a 10, 11, 12. Right? So he takes it twice.
I take
Then we do the
25.
armor
25.
reduction. Do you have
Yep.
armor reduction?
On my Earth Mage? No.
Okay, let's say you did. So you took 15
Okay.
and 15.
Now I would
It wouldn't be total of 50 minus the 10. It would be 25 twice
minus
with the damage reduction twice.
Yep.
Okay?
But in this
So,
case, I took a
Guardian.
full 50 and had to pop. That's number 7. So now his health is at 50. Now while I'm doing the resolving there, no one else can hit that Earth Mage.
Because you can only have one pending
Pending
action
action.
on a player.
Okay.
So Kyle can only have one action on him at a time. Well, so Kyle could say, I am attacking with my Earth Mage, and another player could be like, once he's done, I can do that. That would be a pending action.
Yep.
Okay? That's how that rolls.
So
Now, I've gone 5. Kyle's still taking his turn.
Yep.
I'm going to put my flag up,
and
which
who
means
can
Corbin
go?
gets
Yep.
to start taking his turn.
I'm going to attack with Adrenaline Rush. I'm going to activate my Earth Mage again to hit your whole city.
And then what
What did I do to you?
What are you going to do, though? Because
I'm
at
gonna-
this point, you can say, I can respond. As
Hold
soon
on.
as that's over, I'm
Yep.
going to do this.
As soon as it's over,
What'd you get?
I got a 16.
Got a
That's another 25 damage to all your boys.
Go away!
And now I'm going to heal
Hold
from
on.
my city.
I'm going to spearman out and throw one
You gonna throw one?
at
Okay.
the Earth Mage.
I pulled him out. He's in the forest, so that's
Which he
minus-
doesn't need to do, but
No.
he can.
No,
You can't.
I didn't mean to. I was just trying to get him out.
Oh, you're revealing him.
I'm
Revealing
revealing him. I don't know where I'm putting him. This is a mess. of stuff.
Of people.
Okay. You put him on the road.
They're all in the city. He's leaving him in the city. He's just revealing.
Okay, so you
which
did
ones.
stack. So as soon as you're done with this, I'm going to heal my group out there. And that'll be my last one.
I hate this terrain.
Forest isn't bad. Forest
Boom
is
in.
just -3 range.
Okay, so you're attacking his Earth Mage.
Yes, I am.
And it's a spearman, so I can't defend with my guardian.
Watch as he rolls a 12. I mean a 20.
I got an 8.
I got a 3.
So my Earth Mage successfully defended against that attack. Now I'm going to proceed to heal those two. If I roll my die, has
With
to
a
be
bishop, though.
with the bishop, so both of them get healed.
What is the range? What's your epicenter?
Right here, percentage right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm making sure that I don't get your guys in there, and I heal only my people.
Okay.
And so he now heals for 25, and that will be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
No,
Four.
Corbin, you can
I have
pending
one
an
more action.
I am going to bishop myself
Good play.
on the city and heal everyone.
And I'm going to.
Crit that damage.
Oh, that's a failed heal. My guy, this is not your game today. And Taylor has to sit
It's
there
on
and
the
wait
middle.
until
Look at
I
that.
finish
It's
my
on the
turn.
middle between 8 and 20.
That's alright. You've activated 2 guys?
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing?
Other bishop.
Taylor, take your turn.
I am taking my turn. What did I just say?
Das ist mein turn, yeah?
Dang it!
You whomped. So what did I do? You whomped one of my Earth Mages with Reverberate. That's what you did. What did I do?
Okay, I'm going to attack your city with an Earth Mage.
Ooh, okay. Alright. Now you get a -1 to your die roll.
Because I'm on the road.
Uh-huh. So roll that die.
Who's just your number 1?
12.
A
Your Earth
12.
Mage.
I can defend
Your
with
Earth
both of
Mage.
those. Now since I'm in the city, I get a +2 to my roll.
I would like to attack them with
That's
my
not gonna happen there.
X Mage.
Okay.
And then my guardian in there will successfully defend, but everyone else
So
takes how
Taylor is
much?
attacking here.
That
my
is going to
Earth Mage.
be...
Now I have a
15
Guardian
damage.
who is adjacent.
15
So
damage.
I'm going to use my Guardian to take that hit
1,
2,
with...
no, it's 2, 3.
an
No,
18.
2 doesn't get
I
hit.
got an 8.
But
Okay.
3,
So that will
So you
successfully
got a 20.
defend. No, I rolled a 16.
Oh.
You got an 18.
So
Yeah.
I got an 18. Corbin
Okay.
goes, so you got a 20. No, I
No,
did
not
crit
yet.
that.
It's not a
So
plus
would that
4.
be for everyone?
So everyone inside of.
Do I have to hit the
Where
city
did
or if it's...
Where'd you epicenter?
How does the Earth Mage... Hold on, real quick. How does the Earth Mage attacking hit if somewhere in the epicenter hits the city?
Yes. If the edge, if any part of the Earth Mage attack hits a city, everyone in the city gets attacked.
Yep, all I have to do is
Alright.
touch
Okay.
it.
So you can hit.
Those two as well.
Yeah.
So-
You can epicenter it.
Right here. And
Yep.
hit the city.
You hit the
So
city.
So
can
that'll
hit-
hit everyone.
Yep, except they'll get to roll separately for their defense.
Yes.
That's different. So, with that in mind, there's a chance because he got a 12 that my Earth Mage will survive and defend. He will not. My
15
Guardian
damage.
there gets to roll. He does
Nope.
not either. So both of them take 15. So my Earth Mage is back to taking some ouch.
Okay.
50 to 75. 60. No, 50. He's back down to 50.
The planes is
And then
a nothing,
Everyone
so
else
you
takes
can. You're just
15.
normal in the planes.
35. 35. Except for my hero. He does not. He's in the middle of nowhere. And so your flag, are you done?
No, I still have one more
Okay,
guy.
keep going. Go
I'm
on.
thinking.
Oh.
Shank him.
But he's
Yeah,
pausing
it's
to hold
He-
back, which is a strategy
Yep.
that some people use.
It's Guardian 2 survived. Guardian 1 did not.
Okay. I'm going to throw a fireball at your Earth Mage.
I'm going to take the Guardian with it.
Alright. I guess I roll.
Yep.
I want to clarify something that we didn't. You can move through your own units.
Yes.
But
You
not
cannot
enemies.
stop in the same hex, but you can move through them. You cannot move through an enemy hex.
Beat a 10.
Okay.
Nope, got a
You
4.
did not. It's gonna be
You're
30
attacking with
damage.
your crusher?
Takes 30.
Die.
I actually used my.
Minus 10. Oops. Gotta hit armor.
I forwent my attack to use double time to.
But if your crusher can move 5 spaces, he can get there in 1
7.
round.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need a double time to get there.
That's fair. Yeah.
So
I was just like, I thought it'd be fun.
Okay.
Oh,
That'd be fun.
you ran out here and then ran out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do what you want. It's
He
your
ran
game.
out the wrong
Yeah.
door, but he
It's
made it.
your game.
He
Do
ran out
what
the
you
wrong
want
door,
to
but
do.
he's in the right spot.
Is that all your activations, Corbin?
Yes, it is.
Alright, put your flag up. Now Taylor gets the free reign of the board.
Yeah. Stay.
Which isn't a problem for me because she's kind of got a lot to go through to even try to get to me. Because you guys are clashing in the middle.
Or Clatton in the middle.
That's
Clashing.
not here.
Yeah, Clat's not here. This
Okay.
is Clat.
He's off fighting the other elves.
So remember, you are in the desert. What does the desert do?
The desert is attack for healing -5.
Yep.
And the ranger. The
Zirenge?
ranger.
You're number 4, Ranger.
Ranger number 4. Roll. Who's it attacking?
I'm just double checking everything. Because I don't memorize stuff immediately.
It's like a
Oh,
build
the other ranger.
The other Ranger. All right.
Ranger, fight.
Alright.
Roll that
Go,
d20.
go, Ranger, Ranger.
I challenge you to a
11.
throw.
17.
All right.
Now you get
And
to
then
roll.
Take the
roll
25 damage.
Again.
Yep, roll again. If you get a 9 or higher, you get to double that.
Yep, you do more damage.
Yeah, 20.
Okay, so you get to triple.
Yep, second hit takes gets the double
so
crit,
that's
double effect.
75.
Dang,
She's
okay.
got Legolas on her team.
All right.
Or just wait. Boot up.
Who said you could have an elven prince in your army?
Listen.
I keep breaking it.
I got
But
a
you can
healer who
see-
can't do squat.
Right now, I'm more concerned with getting my people into position and healing. So as soon as this round starts over, I'm gonna have to initiate some aggressive healing. And then,
No, the goblins need to die.
what is happening? Why is there a spearman at my doorstep? I'm a little spearman, short and stout. I belong to elves, and I'm throwing you out.
About to get
Hey,
shot.
buddy.
Hey, daughter, what you doing? There's no family ties in Savarion. Hey, filthy elf. What you doing, filthy elf?
Well, I just thought I'd poke by and.
Poke pie. Who are you?
No, get straight to the point.
Oh my gosh. Your pungent, sticky puns are killing me.
Anyway.
Yeah, it might have to make it over the wall first, but
Roll your attack.
Alright.
Pick your target first.
Because the
What
spearman gets
about-
to pick your target.
The bishop.
Not the bishop!
I like the way you think, Taylor. Ooh,
I
did
can't
you?
beat that.
She did
I have-
enhancement as her leader too.
Mother father, that's a crit!
That's a crit.
How much damage? And which bishop? I have 2 in there.
The one closest.
So
8.
8.
Okay, so that's what you gotta declare. Which one you're attacking. So you're attacking
Alright.
bishop 8 for how much
Bishop
damage?
8 for.
Let's double your power.
That would be.
we cut that out a little bit.
Yeah, that's okay.
just
So the
beat it.
bishop without power, because you put it into the other
Spearman.
stuff. The spearman
This bishop.
does 25 damage, doubled. Is how much?
50.
That would be 50.
That's right. You just ganked my bishop.
You
Yep.
shanked
Right.
it from a distance.
I am down 2 units already. You don't mind. I'm the Goblins, and now I have been assaulted, and I'm down 2 units. One from a
You're
Alright.
after me.
one from a
What
well
made
placed
you
spear.
so aggressive
Wow.
against the
Right.
Minotaurs?
For the sake of example, we're gonna move on. So at this
Alright.
point, Taylor,
Puts her
put
flag
a
up.
flag up, and
Everyone's
we go flip over, earthquake, everybody flag down. Okay.
Mother father!
Why?
So okay, now I'm gonna do this so that we can talk about when it's 3 or less.
Well,
Corbin?
because I just got wiped out, so I think Corbin and I both just got wiped out.
No, I'm fine.
Oh, okay. I just
You
got
only
wiped
take
out.
10 damage.
20. All my boys in the city taking 20 damage.
Oh boy.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's in the city except
Minus-
for.
And Corbin.
This is what just happened to me from one earthquake.
Okay. All right, so let's assume, okay, that Kyle's the first one out. I lose these guys in the process. Taylor's lost these
So
who
two.
killed
Corbin's
Kyle?
lost these 4. In the process of
Just
So we're moving on, okay? Corbin, Taylor, roll your d20, the highest one. I got 11.
15.
I got a 6.
Okay, so
here you go. You killed
let's
me.
say
Yay.
Corbin took out Kyle's last guy.
I killed that
So now
stinking
he's
Earth mage.
unaffected by the weather events.
And now the next one falls over, and it's
A blizzard.
Oh boy.
wow! You just
Okay.
got the holy grail of
Jackpot.
goblins.
Okay.
Didn't
Jackpot.
Now-
even happen for you on the
I know, right? So here's how this works. Let's say Corbin's like scattered over here because he's been in the fight, and I'm scattered in the fight.
Excuse me, why is the healer
Just-
in?
We'll do this.
We're just demonstrating how to play. Okay, we're not actually playing around.
Go priest.
Go, priest,
Bonk
go!
'em. The priest cannot
I'm in the
do
middle.
physical damage. Just keep this in mind.
Can't do.
They do not do any kind of damage.
I
They
choose
only
you,
heal.
priest.
I'm going to
Back
stab
here.
you with
This guy
my
would have to
priest.
be in here. Okay, now
Why is Taylor lost none unit?
she did. I threw some of them over here. Okay, now what we're gonna do? Now that Kyle is out, okay, we're gonna reduce. Now we're down to 3. Now it doesn't matter how many people play. Once you get down to 3, okay. Well, when somebody gets out, if you're doing groups of 2, then one group has to have a third person. No more than 3 people in a group, and no less than 2.
Alright.
Okay, but now we move to 3 people.
At this point, it's
Remain.
linear.
No. Now the game that was already fast
Gets faster.
becomes faster.
So we all start at the same time.
No.
No.
Also no. Okay, everybody roll again. We're gonna
20,
rebuild ourselves. Okay,
Roll a 20.
8.
18.
15.
Okay,
Those
Corbin
two go
and
first.
Taylor. Yes.
Corbin and Taylor go at the same time right now. And Jeff is watching for that flag to go up. The first one who puts their flag up, he suddenly gets to take his turn. Now, this is where the strategy comes in. Because now one of you 3 will potentially get the chance to make a third or a second turn this round.
2 people get to
2
go
people,
twice.
you're right. 2 people get to go twice. That's how this works.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Okay,
so 2 people will go twice. So
so
let's say we're not gonna go through the
whole
playing
thing, I
the
know.
whole thing.
Because
Okay,
right now
but
this is your
Taylor-
golden hour.
Earth mage.
Taylor is taking a little more time on her turn, the first round, than Corbin did. So Corbin puts his flag up,
And Jeff gets
and
to
then
go.
I get to go. I'm going to activate, and I'm going to go. Okay?
And
If
then
I put my flag back up, right?
before
Corbin,
Taylor takes her
before
turn
Taylor puts her flag up, Corbin gets to put his flag down
and go again.
That seems
and go
fair.
again, which means Corbin and I will be the ones that get to go a second time because Taylor took long enough that Corbin and I took our whole turn. Okay? So Taylor puts her flag up. I'm going to put my flag down. I get to go a second time. Corbin flag up. Me flag up. Taylor doesn't get to go a second time. Then we flip over
The next
the
one.
next one
Do
and
it
go
again.
again.
And it
in the
starts
same
off
fashion.
with Taylor and Corbin activate first.
Exactly. Now Taylor saw what happened because she was moving slow and is like, that's not going to happen again. So she runs through her turn quickly, puts her flag up first.
So if
I get to go.
if I finish
Okay.
my turn before.
Well,
Okay, so if she
But-
finishes her turn and you start, and I finish
then
my
I-
turn.
right. And then she starts. I finish my turn. You start. You 2 got to go first.
2
You
people-
2 got to
okay.
do 2. But
2 people are actively moving on the board at all times,
At all times.
during the sudden death round.
Okay.
Not
So,
sudden death, but it's
5 turns take place before you flip over another event.
Yep.
Okay? So this is where it gets really, really intense. And I have seen some craziness happen at this point. But 3 or less is wild.
Yep.
So,
And when it goes down to 2, it's just both of you are
Then
taking your
it's linear.
turns simultaneously, and then down, up,
Yes.
down, up, down, up. You're actively reacting. It becomes a one-on-one duel with the other person.
yes. So the only time the game is linear is when there's only 2 people left. Okay?
Can't even call it linear because you're not waiting for them to go. You are actively going at the same time. Yeah. Am I right? Or am I wrong?
Am I right or am I right?
I'm fairly certain that they're both taking their turns and activating and responding to each other in real time. Yeah, at no point in time is it ever linear.
So when it's just when two
someone
players are left, so when it's just two, let's say it's them two, and they're going back and forth, right? When 5 rounds have happened, you stop, put over a new weather event. Every time 5 rounds happens, you do a new weather event, whether there's 2 or 3 people remaining. Okay, so one of you is always going to get to go an extra time, because when you start it, you activate your 5 units,
or however many you have left.
Or however many you have left.
At one point in time, there was a person that had 2 units left, and it was a healer and a guardian, and they're just like, no!
So,
I will not die.
Everyone, is how you play the game.
That's
I want to
All
cover
right.
what?
That's the RTCSS.
That's the whole game, start
Yep.
to finish. That's as complicated as it gets.
The
Now,
RTC, the really cool thing.
the real cool thing. I want to cover our game variations. Okay?
Oh.
We have 3 of them. For those of you who want to play this game with a little bit different flavor to it. Okay? There is the simple play. So we take off all of the talent points. So no units get a talent point.
Nope, it's your units are just as they are.
And your leader
As
is
the
not
ring.
special.
Well,
He
your
still
leader
gets
still
to-
gets the leader talent.
Yeah.
But no talent points.
No talent points. Okay? Then we have quick play, which is you get 5 units instead of 10. Now you could do simple quick,
Yep.
so everybody only gets 5 units and no talent. That would be the fastest way to play the game. But the quick play only has 5. Okay? And then, thanks to Kyle, we have Blitzkrieg. Kyle, you want to explain Blitzkrieg?
Okie dokie.
Oh no.
So Blitzkrieg is you have no talent points, but that doesn't mean you don't get to have talent points. You get talents every time you kill a unit. And the way that works is if a spearman, let's say the spearman here, ganked the spearman, blah! Then Jeff Spearman now gets a talent point to put into their stuff, and then gets to have another talent point that another unit gets to have as well, regardless of what was happening in the world.
So
You
I'm
get-
going to give my spearman
More power,
extra power, and then I'm going to give my guardian
more defense,
extra health.
or extra health. Yep.
Wow.
Or, yeah, I can
And
give him armor.
that's how that works. And then there's no limit. There is no 10 max for a unit. This spearman is just going out here being a monster. He's gonna be a monster.
All my
And
stuff.
just keep popping everything. He's gonna
The
pop
max
off.
is at 5
He's
points
eventually-
per item, correct?
There's a
There
max
is no
of
max.
5 points per item,
Yes.
which means theoretically
There is
the
a cap.
cap is 20. You could theoretically give somebody 20 points and then you wouldn't be able to get any more
Anymore.
points.
That would be
No,
two
not the
full teams.
spearman.
Yep.
But if you think about it, the spearman
The
would
spearman-
have to either be given
Or have
or
killed.
have killed 20 units.
You
That's
put
a
20
lot of
points in
units.
there, that's 40 extra damage.
And most of the time,
You can only
as a
still-
unit becomes more powerful,
Mhm.
it becomes a bigger target.
But there is a limit, like you talked about. You can only put 5 points into each category,
Right.
and that's the so you can't go insane. So yeah, there is that. I think we have a different name for it in the actual release. We can't call it Blitzkrieg. We called it something different. But
Murder
we-
Yeah,
fest.
it was
was
like Time
originally-
Warp. We
we renamed it
product
because
tested the name and
It needed
there was
to
a
be
better
changed.
name.
Murder
Yep.
fest.
No.
Bloodbath.
it's in the. We have to look it up, and we can actually post it in a comment for this video.
Absolutely.
Because we changed some of these, like I said, some of the names. Obviously, we're using some of the older prototypes. It'll be different. The terrain is going to look a little different here.
No, the terrain is
The layout's going to be a little
the
different.
layout is different. Yes.
Because some of the water tiles didn't get added in to our
Right.
prototype.
And then
No drowning yet.
Taylor, can I have one of yours dice?
Yeah.
Just one. Ian, can we top view so that I can see the dice? Okay, so for the lighter colors, so halflings are white, minotaurs are yellow, dwarves are orange. So for the lighter colored units, they're going to have the solid color with the black numbers, and then the other way for the darker colors are going to have white numbers. That's just for simplicity. So the dice that I'm using, I just like these. So I added this to mine. This is not the official. It'll have just the solid like this. It won't be
Yeah, it'll
colored
be
like this. So
It'll
yeah,
be like
so
the
the
white
halfling is white.
and black.
So we're going with the simplified.
Mhm.
We don't have to show them all. Okay. So that's how we're doing that. With the exception, the only exception in the coloring scheme is going to be the humans, because the humans were really difficult. They're
Brown.
brown. No, we're
Yes.
going to go with white. It'll be brown and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't have brown
Okay,
dice.
what about red?
Red is white.
and See,
Red and white.
we got here.
Fire.
Fire.
So that is how you play the game of Savarion.
And
If
then
anyone
you
has
want,
any questions, post it in the comments. We'll
We'll respond
answer
to
them
Yeah.
appropriately.
we need to make a mode that is called lore accurate, and it gives you a pre-built team.
Ooh.
That may be something we can release another time.
And your leader
That's
has to be the
fun.
leader. So Alcrin would be a guardian. Clat would be whatever he is.
Priest.
Serona would be a ranger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then
We
When
could-
Nash will be a
well,
Soul striker.
We wouldn't release it as a version of the game. We would
Put the stats
we could
out
put
there
on
that you
yeah
can
put the
PDF
stats
draw
out on
like a
yeah.
hey, you can play it this
if
way.
you want to, because the
Yeah, if
army
you
is
want
still unique to you. You still customize your
Right.
army, but your leader is locked. In what
Well,
they
but
have.
we could do the lore accurate one so that their whole army is lore
Luke is
accurate.
an Earth
And
mage.
the elves have to die first.
And the elf stuff.
That has to
All right.
happen.
Well, that is all, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
See you guys.